let's do some NFL football. Let's start there. Saquon Barkley, we all know, wanted a new contract from the Giants. They gave Daniel Jones, who's a middle-of-the-road quarterback at best. They gave him $40 million. Just, okay, that's nice. But I don't think he's as good as a quarterback without having the running game. And when they didn't have Saquon Barkley, that team was dog food. Last year they made the playoffs. They ran the football. They controlled the clock. It allowed Daniel Jones to run and just throw when he has to, Andy. And the Giants didn't come to an agreement. The league has moved into a situation where they don't want to play these guys. They use up the running backs while they're cheap and they don't have to pay them. And then they'll dump them and go get somebody else. And Saquon's not having it. I applaud him for standing up, applaud him for wanting to be paid what his worth is. And in an NFL where you need to run the football to win games sometimes, Andy, you know that, for them to try to devalue the running back position is just ridiculous. But anyway, you know, the only way for Saquon to show the Giants he means business is to sit out for the season. Here's sound from a podcast where he talked about this.
I have no worry about going on a football field and knowing that I'm not playing for my worth, or saying if I have to play under, because this is my leverage. My leverage is I can say you to the Giants, I can say you to my teammates and be like, you want me to show you my worth? You want to show you how valuable I am to the team? I won't show up. I won't play it down. That's a play I can use. Anybody knows me, knows that's not something I want to do. But like, it's something that crossed my mind. It's like I never thought I would ever do that. But like now I'm at a point where it's like, Jesus, like I might have to take it to this level. And like, am I willing? Am I prepared to take it to the level? I don't know.
Wow. I'll tell you right now, if you really are firm on this and he refused to bend and just take whatever they want and do this, I mean, I get it. It's a risk you take, Andy, but in life, in order to get, sometimes you got to give. You notice, Andy, Kurt Flood basically gave up his baseball career, and the free agency that everybody in every sport enjoys came from that man's labor that he took on Major League Baseball. He lost in the Supreme Court, but it did enable the free agency to become a reality because of what he did. So there are these things you have to stand up for.
I just think there's a little difference between free agency where you can have movement. In other words, if I work for company A, I can now go to company B across the street, get a little more money. And there's a little difference between that. And
no, but I'm talking about standing up for what you believe in.
Right.
That's the point, and that's where Saquon is. The reason that the NFL owners, Andy, keep doing the same thing, screwing people, is because nobody's willing to stop the game. The players keep playing. Robbie. What do you mean? You can stop the game.
The day of the second contract for running backs is over. It's finished. Ezekiel Elliott, gone. I mean, all these guys.
It's not over, Andy.
Derrick Henry's the only guy
with
with a second contract. Think about it. They don't do that.
No, but they don't do that because people have allowed them to do that. And I'll tell you this. There are bad quarterback contracts, and nobody says, oh, my God, you paid Carson Wentz all this money. We'll never give another quarterback a big contract. But they use that as Exhibit A for running backs. Why? Why are you picking out the running back when quarterbacks have gotten even more money and have been bust?
Because tell me a team that has gone to the Super Bowl without a franchise quarterback. You can't go to the Super Bowl without a franchise running back. You could do it.
There are plenty, but you also need to run the football to win games.
No doubt.
And you can't tell me, Andy, that the Giants are not the same team without Saquon Barkley. When he was out for a whole season with injury, they didn't win. They plugged another running back in. It didn't work like, oh, you could just plug anybody in. It doesn't work like that.
I'm not so certain he's got leverage, but I think he does in the sense of I'm his agent. I say, look, the New York Football Giants were 8-2 when Barkley rushed for 7 yards or more last year. They were 7-2 when he had 100-plus scrimmage yards. That's pretty good leverage, okay? And look, he was 4th in the league in rushing last year, and honestly, he's not breaking the bank to be the highest-paid running back in the league. He's not doing that, okay? So I get what he's trying to do. Will he succeed? I don't think so. Is he going to sit out? He'd be crazy to do so. He'd be crazy.
Not crazy. No, he's
let me
not.
tell you why I say that.
It's about principle sometimes. Everything you just can't always. Andy, this is the problem in life, why things don't change, because people fall in line too much. The reason that we've had all kinds of changes in this world, people took to the streets. People said, no mas. We're not going to accept it. When they had no unions and people were working 14 hours and making no money and had poor health conditions at work, guess what? They took to the streets.
Tell it to the writers who are on strike. Tell it to the writers in Hollywood who are on strike right now.
Exactly.
Right?
But that's the point, is that you have to, in order to give, you gotta give sometimes. You can't expect the owners to just say, well, he doesn't care enough about it. We can just play hard line. If enough guys say we're not going to allow this to happen, they will change, Andy.
Help me out here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my math is way off base. But Saquon Barkley said he was looking for a minimum of $22.5 million in guaranteed money. Right? That's what he wanted. This is according to the New York Post, which I read the other day. If he gets the franchise tag for 2 years, that's $20.2 million. It's only $2 million away. I mean, come on. You say
only $2 million. No.
Oh, come on.
That's
really?
What his worth is, and that's what he wants.
That's what he thinks his worth is.
Right. And why can't he believe that that's what his worth is? And who are the Giants to say they gave Daniel Jones $40 million?
46.
Are you kidding? You think he's worth that?
It's the position.
No, it's not the position. No, it's not.
Position. It is.
You don't have to pay that. They could have told Daniel Jones, don't let the door hit you on the way out. They could have said that if they didn't want to pay the money. They made Matthew Stafford the highest paid player when he played for the Lions with no playoff wins and no division titles. Why are they paying those guys during that time? But a guy who's productive and a guy who puts up the numbers, and you just spewed the numbers. They're all in his favor. They're a better football team when he's playing. It's so simple.
He had the most rushing yards for a Giants player in a season since Tiki Barber in 2006. So you don't sell me on how great he is. And I'll tell you, I loved him. I loved him at Penn State. And if LeVar Arrington is listening right now, who's a Penn Stater, tell him to get on the horn and call Saquon and smarten up and get the franchise tag for 2 freaking years at $10.1 million and it's $20.2 and maybe throw an incentive in or two. That's all.
No,
is he better off sitting out?
That whole process, the franchise tag, is the worst collectively bargained agreement in the history of unions. It makes no sense, especially when you talk about running backs, Andy, where they have these guys carry the ball a gazillion times early on, burn them out, but don't want to pay them. It ain't fair. If I had a son and he was playing football, wanted to play football, I'd tell him to steer clear of being a running back playing the position of running back.
No doubt.
This is what they're going to do.
And you need
running backs in order to win.
The dinosaur of the NFL. Hey, look, 2 teams have a fullback. The fullback position's gone. It's extinct. There's no fullbacks. I think the Rams have a fullback and the Ravens. That's it. No one has fullbacks.
When were the Cowboys at best during the Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott era? When were they best?
All right, but where's Ezekiel?
No, I'm asking you, when were they best? When Ezekiel Elliott ran the football, that's when Dak Prescott was at his best. Right. Not when he has to drop back and throw 40 passes a game. Go look at their record when he does that.
There's no doubt the running game is not dead. It's a very important aspect of the football game because, look, when you have the lead, what do you want to do? You want to put the ball on the ground, get some first downs, or eat up the clock. The running game is tremendously important, but I don't think these owners want to go for the big bucks in that second contract. They'll take a flyer and get a kid out of college in the second or third round and let him be the running back.
All right. We want to hear from you. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369 for you laymen. And yes, are the NFL, well, here we go. Should Saquon Barkley sit out the entire 2023 NFL season? We want to hear from you. I think if he has that conviction and he wants to be paid his worth, I'm all for it. Andy Furman is saying, no way, no how. This is not the NFL.
No, wait,
Don't do it.
Let me ask you this. Say I was making $5,000 or $50,000 more than you. We did the show together, and you found out about that. Would you sit out? Would you?
Yes.
Really? You would? I doubt it.
Because I would want $50,000 and a penny because I'd have to make more than you.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, The point is this. I don't think you'd sit out. I think you negotiate. Say, why is he making more than me? We're partners. We do the show together. Right.
Then I want the equal pay. I want to be
I
paid.
agree.
You see Daniel Jones getting $46 million, and they won't even give you 22. Ridiculous.
Because there's a structure in salaries with quarterbacks.
There is
That's
no
why.
structure. You could break the structure the way that they broke the structure with running backs. Rob Parker and Andy Furman in for Chris Broussard, talking Saquon Barkley. Should he sit out if he doesn't feel he's getting paid his worth? He's come this far. I say yes. Andy says no. What do you say? 877-99 on Fox. And Andy, I know we got people to chime in.
Yes, we do. JR in Louisiana. You're on the Odd Couple. Go ahead, JR.
Hey, guys. First time, long time.
Thank
Hey,
you,
listen,
buddy.
I'm going to answer the question. No way he should sit out. Talk about
Thank
principles. Ask Le'Veon Bell about his principles. He principled himself right out of the NFL.
He also
No
got
way
his
he should
money.
sit out.
He also got paid. You can say whatever you want. There is a thing about principles. Everybody can't just fall in line because they have a system set up that hurts you, that takes away your prime years as a running back and tells you, be a workhorse for no money, and then when you're used up, the way we deem you to be used up, now we won't pay you. Nah, that system doesn't work, and
It's
it
the
ain't
same
fair.
thing in the business world. Rob, this isn't anything new. It's gone on for ages. If
No,
you're
it's
a
not,
laborer-
because
if
we
you're
pay
a laborer-
quarterbacks.
Oh, come on. If you're a laborer in
Why
the
are we
business
paying?
world.
Why did we pay Matthew Stafford? He's the highest paid player in the NFL. What did he ever do?
I understand
I'm asking
that.
you.
He
No,
got some
you
good
say you
numbers in
understand that.
No,
but
no,
if
I
there's
do.
a system.
But in the
Saquon
labor...
Barkley's value,
No.
Andy, is documented. He's not some fly-by-night. And you can say whatever you want about Le'Veon Bell. I don't remember the Steelers winning anything in the last 4 or 5 years, last 10 years, or whenever it was the last time they got to the Super Bowl.
But in the business world, if a guy is 40-plus years of age and making big money, there's good chances that he's going to be gone, given a gold watch, and they get a kid fresh out of college for half the price and do the same job. It happens all the time. This isn't anything
Saquon
new.
ain't 40 years old.
I get it, but he's running for a second contract. They're not going to give it. It doesn't. Who's got one? Derrick Henry. That's it.
That means that somebody's
McCaffrey,
got
maybe.
so that means that he has one, right? So that means
Yeah.
that they do it in the NFL, because Derrick Henry's perfect example that they do give a second contract.
Well, Derrick Henry was their offense. He's
Doesn't
basically
matter.
entire. Well,
Saquon is the Giants' offense, not Daniel
I agree,
Jones.
but I think the sit-outs, it's lunacy. It really is. Cody in North Dakota, you're on the Odd Couple. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think you sit out. I think it's kind of like the Le'Veon Bell thing. I mean, you miss out on that 1 year guaranteed, but even more, like, yeah, it's hard to pay them, because you brought up the Cowboys earlier. When they were good, yeah, Zeke was productive, but it was also before they paid Zeke. That money can be
It has nothing to
allocated
do with
better
them
to other
paying
players.
Zeke. That's the problem, that fans and these NFL people are selling you guys a bill of goods. It has nothing to do with the contract. It's the whole
And then
idea.
it's also them falling off.
So why did Derrick Henry get a second contract? Why did Derrick Henry get a second?
Because he's one of two or one of three. The other
It's not one of two.
You can get 80% of the production with a player you draft for 50% of the pay.
But wait a minute. But wait a minute. What about Barry Sanders and Eric Dickerson and all these other NFL running backs who had very long careers? It's NFL.
It was a different time.
NFL. It ain't a different league.
It is.
It ain't a
It
different
really
league.
is. It's a
I'm
different
talking
league,
about whether or not a guy can be productive. They have picked out a loophole in the CBA to burn out running backs and not pay them. That's what they've done. It has nothing to do with that. You pay bum quarterbacks all the time, and nobody holds it against, because Ezekiel Elliott's contract didn't work out. They don't hold it against every quarterback because Carson Wentz's contract didn't work out. That's my point.
Okay, and if that's the case, and I think you have some truth and merit in what you're saying, how come the running backs have not united? No one's backing Saquon Barkley.
That's not
Think
true.
about
They're
that.
all talking about it.
They're
but
talking about it. What have they done? What have they
but
done?
I agree. The NFL, the players have to back these guys. This is not right.
Well, you know what? Until something happens that every running back in the league says we're not putting up with this and we're not going to play, nothing's going to change. Really. Tim in Atlanta, you're on the Odd Couple.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
What's up, Chili Tim? How you?
Man, you guys got me fired up. Let me tell you, I'm a 49ers fan, right? We have been to the Super Bowl and been knocking on the Super Bowl with an average quarterback, but it was our running game that got us there every step
Thank
of the
you.
way. You look at Seattle. Before Russell Wilson became Russell Wilson, it was beast mode.
And that's when they won. When it was Russell Wilson, they didn't win.
They did. That's what I'm saying. So don't tell me that a running back, you can't get to where you got to get to without a running back. It's just the way people want to make up something to say, we don't want to pay you. Just say you don't want to pay me, but don't tell me that my position or my worth is not worth what I'm asking for. That's just an excuse.
100%, Tim. Can we squeeze
But this
in
isn't
one more,
anything
Andy?
new. You talked about the Dallas Cowboys after 2014, DeMarco Murray. He set that franchise single-season rushing record, right? What happened? Bingo, he's gone.
Yeah,
really,
but I could give you 10 quarterbacks who got big contracts, bingo, and they didn't perform.
Oh, I hear you.
So that means that you should never give a quarterback a big contract. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm not saying that, but
Okay,
I think that owners are mesmerized by the quarterback position, knowing that you sink or swim with a quarterback. You don't sink or swim with a running back.